Welcome back, it's Weedle and I have another tank review for you. Today it is the GSOR 1010 and this tank, some of you may have gotten in the Christmas loot boxes recently, and I'm sure there's more than one of you that's probably disappointed because it's the only tank you got. Um, I don't think you should be. I think out of the Christmas loot boxes, this one was easily the best tier 10, tier 8, sorry, of those. I've spent some time kind of learning how to play it. I've achieved a 64.5% win rate, basically just solo queuing. The tank, honestly, I tried to compare it to a tier 8, and I just can't really find anything that I think matches its playstyle. So what I would recommend is kind of playing it like a Leopard 1. You're going to be a second, third line tank. You're going to be moving around the map. You're going to be utilizing its accuracy, its mobility, its speed, and to just do the damage. And I think if you can learn to play it like that, you're going to find a lot of success. As far as equipment loadout, pretty much the one that I found universally works the best for me is going with turbo rammer vents. I tried several other things. I don't think you need vertical stab. It's aim time is such that it just doesn't feel like it needs it. Same thing with the aiming device. I didn't feel like it needs it. Um, if you do want the most out of it, you are going to have to fire premium rounds. It is what it is. It's just kind of part of the game. But if you want to make some credits, you can just fire normal rounds. It'll do okay. They still got 218 millimeters of pin, so a lot of times with a lot of tanks, that's enough. But to it, I have a gameplay replay to kind of share with you to show off some of its strengths and some things you're going to have to consider. And yeah. Okay, now time for the replay. Now, this map, Forge isn't exactly the ideal map. Because you're so limited in what you can do. You pretty much you have to go up to this kind of like B8 area. I stay away from kind of the F4 area, that whole center of the map. It's a death trap. I don't like going down there, and you just don't have any kind of armor whatsoever to go down there and fight with the heavies. Now, going up here, I'm usually going to my usual spot, and I actually have to get outside the comfort zone of this tank. And as you see, their team will end up doing something quite unusual. They get extremely aggressive. Now I'm going over to this rock here, which is an excellent sniping position, but there are light tanks right there. And you can see my shaky aim, because I'm getting old. But despite my shaky aim, the gun handling still works. I see that they've pushed 2 more tanks up, and I know I need to get out of here. Especially with the KPZ, it likes to fire, oops, bad driving, HE rounds, and they can certainly pin this tank, and a lot of people will fire HE rounds. Now I do have some teammates here, so we are going to fight it out. Got my second kill of the game, and you can just see like the accuracy, like you don't really need a vertical stab. I make all these snapshots basically work without it. Somehow I managed to get 3 kills early in the game. And you see right here, just finding my shot. Do take a hit there. You're not going to bounce many rounds. But this tank is all about positioning. If you're not positioning, got a good track shot there, you're not going to have a lot of success. It's not something that can be out in the open. You're going to be using a ridge line right here. I'm hoping something pops up. Kind of waiting on my gunner. And here you can see the excellent reverse speed. Jetto does manage to put 2 in me, so I did get very greedy there, but I did think it was worth it. And yeah, this I'm finally able to get to the spot I wanted to go to at the start of the game, which is kind of this area right here. It allows you to kind of shoot into middle. You have reasonable cover. And see if we can't get a... even without my gunner, this gun still works. Now here, I've only got 5 hit points, so I need to think about where the tanks are on the map, and you're going to have to do the same thing when you want to be successful. I decided I need to reposition. Now, obviously, you know, somebody can see up here because the range just got shot. So, you know, at any point, you know, it's just being careful. Now, I'm waiting for something to be lit before I poke up because I just don't want to be sitting up here and get spotted because there's like that time delay, and I'm very aware of it. And in a minute, I know there's a T30 that gets lit, which I get some extra form in. And this is kind of the ridgeline thing. You're not really going, like I said, you're not going to bounce anything. You're going to play it more like a leopard. If you get shot at, you're going to get pinned. And you're going to see tanks, if you've played the Leo 1, you'll know that tanks can overextend, and just because they know that they can pin you, and because of that, they will try. We got a T30, he's lit. And, you know, here we're kind of still firing near the max range that we can see. That was the best aim. And yes, I know I'm firing a lot of premium rounds. Honestly, it never really occurred to me to switch them, even though you don't need them right here. So, you know, up 2,500 damage, 5 kills. See if we can finish him off. If we don't. And one thing you'll see me do a lot when I'm trying to look for a tank in an area, I'll move my gun kind of up and down. Because what I'm doing is I'm trying to search. You know, I know he's somewhere in here. And if he's in there, it just helps me kind of spot him out a little bit. Especially if there's like a rock or something, if I can catch just like the top of their turret. If I see it flash red, I know I might have a shot, and then I can kind of look for it. So, I can see that their heavies are pushing town. And I definitely need to figure out a way to address that. It's kind of a weird spot in the battle. Obviously I can't push, I got 5 hit points. The KPZ is going for our light tank. And in general, like I said, the whole start of this battle was pretty hectic. It's been a while since I've seen a team rush up like they did. And obviously, you know, they didn't win that fight. And I can see the KPZs going around to kind of link up with his heavies. I'm going to switch up here and see if there's any way I can get cross shots on the heavy tanks as they try to either push toward cap or kind of toward the Hori 1. And I know I don't actually get a shot on this guy. I think, I'm not sure if it's the Hori or the Udes that actually finishes him off right here. But one thing I'm also thinking about is what is behind me. You know, the KPZ hasn't been relit, there's still a Progetto, and my team's kind of moved forward, and I know we need some kind of rear guard. And this is kind of the map positioning I'm referring to, is sometimes you're just going to have to think nasty, think ahead, and think about where the tanks are going to be coming from. And this spot back here can be really excellent to ambush somebody. I don't want to poke up on the top of this ridge, because on the top of this ridge, and just like clockwork, there's a tank right there. Got a track shot. Now here, I actually go ahead and auto aim him, and I just drive out and just kind of surprise him a little bit. Like I said, the gun handling's really good. And unfortunately, an artillery shell. We all kind of knew that was coming, because if you've seen any of my replays, artillery loves me. But yeah, it's a solid game. It's not my best game in this tank by far, but I wanted to show off some of its gun handling And also this last position of just thinking, you know, kind of nasty. And I went to the spot, got there just in the nick of time, but um, just to ambush him because I knew somebody had to be coming up the the rear. You know, either Progetto or the KPZ or maybe in both of them. Um, but yeah, I'm going to switch over to some final thoughts and maybe a little bit of advice. So a quick recap of the results of this game. First class, it was a good game, not a great game. Top Gun, Fire for Effect, Bruiser, finished the game with 31,054 damage, 6 kills. Uh, Highest damage on my team, which is always good. The one thing I want to highlight is the credit making aspects of this tank, and it's not a great credit maker, unfortunately. Uh, 20,000 credits. Now I realize I shot all premium. I get it. I also was running a premium consumable, but there's a lot of premium tanks that if I did this in and I did 3,100 damage and only missed 2 shots, uh, I would have certainly profited more than 20,000 credits. It'd been 40, 50, 60,000 credits, and that's the one thing I think kind of holds this back is its credit making potential. And it doesn't really get a whole lot better even if you're shooting just normal rounds. Um, but that aside, like I said, it's a good tank. So my final thoughts on this thing: it's good. It's not OP. It's not the best tier 8 premium tank. To be successful in it, you are going to have to invest in a good crew. Its base view range is kind of doo-doo, but once you get situational awareness, you get recon, you get brothers in arms with a premium consumable. I know that's a lot, but you get up to a respectable 442. That will do it most anything. So I'm also running vents, which kind of helps with that a little bit too. But like I said, you're going to have a good crew to play this tank. I think the biggest downside is, as a crew trainer, um, it's going up to Concept 5. And while this is a really cool looking tank, it is kind of doo-doo. Um, it needs to do considerably more damage than it does. But um, yeah, I think if you got this tank and you want to put some practice into it, it's a lot of fun, and I would recommend it. So that's it for this video. I'll be making another video this week, probably kind of highlighting the Japanese line and let you know what I think of it. So be sure to come back.